Hey yo guys, what's good, what's happening, and what's going on? Got done work at 4. I was like, you know what? Gave my buddy a text and I'm like, do you work today? And he's like, yeah, I work tonight at 9 because he has a night shift doing custodial work. And I was like, oh, can I come over right now? And he's like, yeah man, come on over. So I just went over there at 4 and I took a look at the mic. Yeah, it's not what I thought it was. So I ended up telling him, I'm like, dude, just sell it with the GoPro. Like I said, yeah, I don't need that. And then he's like, oh. He's like, why? I'm like, 'cause I already have one. Literally, it was just another version of the Takstar. And I'm like, how were you able to film on the GoPro with that? Because if I put the Takstar on this thing, all you see is this foam tube on the top of the camera. It looks ridiculous. And he's like, oh, he goes, I was filming in square mode. And I'm like, square mode? He's like, yeah, you can film 1:1 aspect ratio. It's like 1400 or something like that. I'm like, you were filming 1440 by 1440? He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh. And he's like, yeah, and all I did was I brought the video feed into a 1080p screen and then just kind of moved it up and it worked. He goes, you had to angle the GoPro a bit to get yourself on it. And I'm like, well, yeah. I'm like, dude, that's a trick that's used by cyclists, like downhill racers and stuff on bikes. That's what they do because they don't know for sure if they got the right angle, and they usually don't bother taking their phones out to check the viewfinder. That's back in the session 5 and 4 days. They would basically just angle the camera, put it in box mode, and then just kind of move it to where they needed it, and it was good to go. And he's like, yeah, I just basically lifted it up and then you didn't see the mic. And I'm like, huh, okay, that works. I'm like, yeah, man, I already got one of those. His was, what the frig brand was it? It was like Shamo or Shamu or something like that. I don't know. I've never heard of it before. He got it at Future Shop. The guy there told him it's like a really good mic. It's omnidirectional. It's not. It's a shotgun mic. It's got a zoom option on it where you can click it in the zoom mode and it'll reach out far and touch someone. Like, they're good mics, but like you need a good cam. Like I can put that on the Sony and you won't see it. But if I put it on my DSLR, you see this little foam dink in the friggin' top of your video and it's kind of annoying. So, but the sound on it's pretty damn good. That much I can confirm. They sound really, really, really good. And then another mutual friend of ours was there and he was like, so I heard you got an old lady now. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, yeah. So when that happened, I said, oh, like October, probably earlier, I think. I'm like, August 18th, we started chatting online. And next thing you know, we decided to meet up on September 25th. We finally met up. He's like, what do you mean you finally met up? And I'm like, oh, she doesn't live around here. I'm like, she lives down south. And he's like, oh, piss, long distance. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, wow, that must be rough. I'm like, actually, no, it's not that bad. Like we pretty much talk every day on either Facebook or text messages. We call each other and all that. And it works out. It works out. And then she comes up here every once in a while. I said there's a bit of a technicality of me going to her house, and I'm not going to get into that on the vlogs, but there's a bit of a technicality for that, but that's going to be rectified soon. And then I'll be able to do road trips too with Oreo, and that'll be freaking awesome. So he's like, so what'd you guys do for Valentine's Day? And I'm like, well, nothing, because it was a Tuesday and we both had to work and she doesn't live here. So we chatted on the phone for a bit, but that's just a daily occurrence. And he's like, really? And she was okay with that. And I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't she be? He's like, man, he's like, did you get her anything? And I'm like, what am I going to get her? She has everything right now. She's trying to like reduce the stuff she has because she's moving. What am I going to get? He's like, well, you didn't get her chocolates? And I'm like, no, man, why would you get someone chocolates? Oh, I love you so much. Here's some diabetes. Like, really? He's like, did you get her a stuffed bear? I'm like, why would you get her a stuffed bear? She's not 2. Like, pull up. Well, what about jewelry? I'm like, she's a chef. She can't wear jewelry. If she wears a ring to work, she has to take it off. The chances of losing that ring now is high. Why would I get her a ring? That's just stupid. Her profession does not permit jewelry. She's working with food. That's a contaminant. Can't happen. He's like, wow, man. He's like, yeah, I had to buy my wife something. And I'm like, really? You had to? He's like, well, yeah, you know, it's that one day a year where you got to treat your woman like a princess. And I'm like, really? Really? One day a year you got to treat her like a princess? So, bro, what about the other 364? Do you treat her like shit? And he's like, well, no. I'm like, no, seriously, dude. I'm like, this is my problem with Valentine's Day. It's these expectations. And who's putting the expectations on us? Not the women. It's not all the ladies out there putting these expectations on us. It's commercialism. Commercialism. Oh, Valentine's Day's around the corner. Better go to people's jewelers and buy her a diamond because a diamond means everything. Moors, we're here to help you on Valentine's Day to pick out the best freaking diamond for your woman. It's these damn commercials. It's commercialism. It pumps this message into our heads that, oh, frig, February 14th's coming around and I got an old lady. I better make sure that she gets spoiled rotten with a bunch of shit she doesn't need. Really? I don't know, man. This is the reason why, like Valentine's Day, like I told Nikki, I'm like straight up, I'm like, I don't like Valentine's Day because it's too commercialism. It's a stupid day, literally, so stores can profit after Christmas because there's nothing going on in January. Like Christmas month, huge money. January, huge not money. It's not like they're making losses, they're just not making money. Yeah, the dog didn't want that. Do you want it? He didn't want his milk bone. Do you want it? What do you, I don't get that cat. She's pretty broken. And then he's like, wow, he's like, I never really thought about it that way. My other buddy, the guy with the microphone, he's just sitting there grinning like an asshole, just loving the fact, because that's how he feels too. He's like, to him and his girlfriend, Valentine's Day, it's just another day. Because, you know, when he's not working, and he works like 3 jobs, when he's not working and she works 2 jobs, so like when they can spend time together, they spend time together. And when they spend time together, nothing gets in the way. It's not like they're going to spend time together and they're going to go over to a friend's house and then they're both chatting with different people. No, they do like what Nikki and I do. Like when she's down here, I don't pick up the camera. I don't make vlogs. I don't edit videos. I don't do anything. We hang out. We do us. You know, go for dinner, go for walks. Not so much in the winter because the last couple times she's been down, if we went for a walk, we'd make it to the neighbor's house and have frostbite because Jesus Murphy, this weather's been stupid. Every time we're together, I guess it's like Valentine's Day. And isn't that how it should be when you're in a relationship? You shouldn't need one day out of the month where you treat your woman like a princess and she treats you like a king or whatever the frig, a prince. I don't know. Like that shouldn't be a thing. And that's my problem with Valentine's Day. And then Valentine's Day for all the single people. Like you see them posting on Facebook. Oh, Valentine's Day. They should make a day for single people. No, they don't need to. They really don't need to. You're not being pressured by commercialism to buy shit for people. You're fine. You don't need a special day. And the thing is it's like, that's what I love about Nikki is she's on board with me on this. Like I told her, I'm like, Valentine's Day is the stupidest friggin' thing ever. I said, why do I need a day where I can buy you a gift? Why can't, like before I was too broke to pay attention so I could never buy her anything. But like things are actually starting to get better in life. So now I can start returning the favor of spoiling. Why do you need a special day? Like Singles Day. Okay, so what? What is Singles Day gonna give you? Congratulations, you're single. Go cry and get your Lubriderm ready. Like, I don't know. Maybe Pornhub can give you a discount. I don't know. A holiday designed to show affection through merchandise has to be the dumbest thing ever. Like, wasn't Valentine's Day founded based on a freaking massacre? Like, really? Like, look it up. I think it was. Like, Valentine's Day is pretty dicked. And the fact that they turned it into some commercial holiday involving hearts and chocolates and teddy bears and roses. Who the hell buys flowers? Like, honestly, you buy your girl a bouquet of roses, probably sets you back $100. 2 weeks later, the damn things are dead. Congratulations. Should have just wiped your ass with $100. You'd have a cleaner butthole. Like, I'll never understand. Like, my ex was like that. She was like, Valentine's Day is coming up. What are you getting me? And I'm just like, I don't know because it's just February 14th and I got you a bunch of shit already. Like, you're living in my house and not paying rent. I'm paying all the utilities and everything and you're living here free. Isn't that enough? You want more stuff. I see. This is fun. This is not going to take the hair off my head. No, that's going to keep the stress down big time. So I know this video is coming out like, 14 days after Valentine's Day, but I'm actually filming this. on the 16th. So now you got an idea that I'm like a lot of days ahead, so 12 days in advance at the time of filming this. But I was happy that Nikki agreed with me that Valentine's Day is kind of a joke and that not celebrating it is probably a really good idea because it's kind of stupid where you get together and you go have a romantic dinner on that one day. You go and have a romantic dinner, you buy her flowers on that one day. Nikki hates flowers, so bonus, because I'm not a fan of the way most of them smell. They just remind me of an old age home, and one day I'm probably going to be in one because I got nobody to take care of me. So, never had kids, so who am I going to lynch off of? Fun times. It's stupid. Buy her flowers. You buy her chocolates. So now she's just ingesting pure sugar and damaging her system. It doesn't make sense, you know? And the best part about it is how are you the other 364 days? Are you a dickhead? Pull up, you know? When you're together, you should be together. It shouldn't require a freaking date. And if it does require a date, honestly, dude, I don't think you deserve that woman. And if she's the one pushing it on you, that date has to be extra special, then she needs to do herself a solid and pull her head out of her ass, honestly. Anyway, guys, I came back, did the other half of that workout, and I decided to bring a bucket in the other room because last night I was getting queasy while I was doing a lot of those workouts with the high volume. And Ryan warns you of that. He's like, some people I put through this workout, they end up puking. Have a bucket. He said, and I quote, some people will puke and shit themselves, so have a bucket and a mop. I didn't shit myself, but I did throw up, and I had a bucket. The bucket that was under the sink, I brought that in there, and it came up clutch. Because I got to 35 curls and the friggin' lactic acid buildup was so intense, the quease in my gut was so crazy, I blew chunks. Not even ashamed to say it. That's when you know a workout's insane. So I just let Oreo out and I went out with him. Frig, it's raining out there right now. Oreo's soaked. Like the other day it was minus 30 and now it's freaking raining. Hopefully the roads are good for Nikki tomorrow when she comes up and they're not slick as shit because that's gonna suck. I told her, I said, if it's too bad, just don't come. Just don't even bother risking it. Come on Friday if it's better. Well, it should be better on Friday. They're usually pretty good at maintaining the main highways. It's the city of North Bay that's bad for maintaining our roads. Once she gets into town, she can just take it easy and trot her way here. But anyway, so I did my workout, destroyed myself, had a shower, and picked up the camera. It's currently 7:40 or 7:45, and I'm going to eat. I made myself steak and cabbage, or beef and cabbage, whatever. Having the rest of that ribeye that Nikki brought me. I just put it in the microwave to hide it from the cat because she was eyeing it up. And Scampers has no problems going on the counter and stealing my food. So all I know is like my pecs are still on fire. Like they hurt like hell. My triceps hurt like hell. Tonight, what I did was I put 25 in 10, so 35 per side, 70 pounds. Yeah, my math is right. And the bar weighs in at 22, so we'll say 20, so 95 pounds. And I managed to get 35 squats before I had to quit, and I racked it. And then I did it again, and then I did it a third time. And every time it was like getting that 35 in was a pain in the ass. So tomorrow I expect to be crippled. I'm probably gonna need crutches, or at least a cane. Wish I had robot legs. Anyway, I'm going to eat my food because I'm friggin' hungry. I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Alrighty guys, it's a little bit later. I basically kind of sat around and watched YouTube. It's been a while since I've actually sat around and watched YouTube. So there's a bunch of videos that came out that I missed. So I decided to watch them and they're pretty good. I let the dog out at like 9 o'clock and now it's friggin' piss and rain out there and they're calling for cold tonight. Jesus Murphy, thank God I work from home, let me tell you. Because tomorrow she's gonna be a slippery, icy mess out there. I already called my buddy and I said, hey man, get good sleep tonight because tomorrow you're gonna be pulling people out of ditches. He runs a tow truck company. So tomorrow he'll make enough money to put his kids through college. Anyway guys, I gotta do something that I didn't do yet that I need to get done. I gotta put that stupid ice tent away. Watch out, dude. For some reason it's not folding up right. I think that's my fault. You can never get this thing back in the bag on the ice. It's impossible, especially when you run the propane heater inside of it because the sidewalls pick up so much frost that forget about it. Just forget about it. There, I just need to get the bag and then strap it over top, and it's got Velcro on it so that you can hook it up to the Velcro and that way there it'll stay shut, but that only worked the day I took it, well, the day I got it out of the bag. I can never get it to go back to that form again. I have no idea how the hell my buddy used to do that. Like there's Velcro right here on this side and you can Velcro this and it keeps it shut, but then you flip it over, right? And you try and do the same on the other side. Oh, it's not doing it now. Normally you hear rip as the Velcro just blows apart, but she's actually holding now, so that's pretty cool. All right, so I'm gonna sit that like that, grab the bag. But yeah, it's impossible to put this thing back in the bag when it's on the ice because it's not insulated, right? But even my old tent that was insulated, the moment you run a propane heater in there and it builds up moisture, the sidewalls become very, very solidified, and there ain't no way in hell it's going back in the bag, right? Because they give you such a shitty bag for the tents. I wish they gave you a bigger bag for those tents and actually took into consideration that winter sucks. But packing it back up once it's dry and all that, it's not that bad. It's funny, I was doing research today on DIY snow machines. I'm like, somebody out there had to invent some crazy contraption that's completely out of this world and stupid. And dude, did I find a lot of them. Holy shit. All right, this thing's ready to go back out in the garage until we go back out fishing again. I'm just gonna lean it up against the closet door for now. Put it back out. I'll put it out there tomorrow. But yeah, just typed into Google DIY snowmobile. Holy shit. I found everything from a mini bike. Somebody shoved a friggin' ski on the front and a tread on the back. Where they found a tread to fit the mini bike, I have no idea, but it was totally a track. One guy in Russia, this was crazy. He took two like really big bike tires, like 10-speed tires, and attached them to an axle, and then across them he used like C-channel metal and he welded them across, so it literally looked like a water wheel that you would use to power like a mill or something back in the old days before we had hydroelectricity. Well, you could probably power hydroelectricity with a water mill too, but you know, whatever. Now this thing was powered by an 8-horse, and he had the chain coming off of it going to this back sprocket that would drive the entire axle. So you had this huge ass friggin' blender wheel in the back, totally grabbing and he's ripping around on it like no other. And then in the front, he had a great big friggin', he had a ski on the front, like a skidoo ski. And he was ripping around pretty good. I was like, that's pretty cool. And then I saw somebody who modified a GT snow racer with a weed whacker. Yeah, that was friggin' sweet to see. Built it for his kid. Literally a GT snow racer, all 3 skis are on it, but he built the track system, same concept as the big wheel, except for what he did was kind of cool. Built this wheel system, and then he attached the chain to it. And then what he did was he basically made like treads, like tank treads out of that C-channel stuff, but he ran a bolt through it, through the chain, and then capped it off on the other end. Then the weed whacker was driving some sort of not a differential, but yeah, a differential, like a limited slip, and it would spin the back tires in posi to basically drive the chain. And the kid's sitting on the GT snow racer and they got like a thumb throttle on the steering wheel, totally going balls to the walls. Like the thing wasn't obviously fast, so maybe going 10, 15 kilometers an hour. But as a kid, man, you're that low to the ground. I remember the mini bikes. I thought I was like ripping pretty fast on them. I was like, holy shit, these things are quick. And then the one day I grabbed my cell phone, I turned the GPS on it. I downloaded an app. It's like a speedometer app, and you can tell it to set to store your highest speed. And then I stuck it back in my pocket and went for a rip, and it picked up the GPS. And I thought I was ripping at some major speeds, like going at least 35, 40 kilometers an hour. And then I picked it out and I was like doing like 19. I'm like, oh, that's sweet. Black bike topped out at 26. I was impressed. I think Rex said his bike, after he took out the chain reducer or whatever it was called, and the clutch, and he put that torque converter in. I think he said he topped out at close to 50 kilometers an hour on his bike. That'd be scary, man. You're low to the ground on those mini bikes. Like, they felt fast because of how low you are to the ground. I think that's why I feel like the Trans Am feels quick. It's because you're pretty much sitting on the pavement. But she's really a slouch. What can I say? Sad 305 noises. Now, I am by far not the engineer that some other people on YouTube are to actually build one of these contraptions, but I did get it in my head. I'm like, you know, with a combination of what I talked about before, the drag out ice shack with the HT on it, but that HT is so cramped inside and so uncomfortable. I got to make some modifications on that thing. Like, that seat is friggin' annoying. That cloth seat, I got to come up with some sort of a hard seat for it with a cushion on it, because after 2 hours of sitting on those bars because the friggin' Velcro lets go. Yeah, no. Cool concept from them, but seriously, they should have given you a hard plastic seat that clips on the bars. That would have been a smarter move, with like a cushion on the top of it or something, because yeah, not comfy. Not comfy one bit. But I could probably engineer something for that. That shouldn't be too hard. We might dick around with that idea this summer and move it around. But then I was thinking about making like a sled where I just drag the damn thing out, get to my spot and pop it up, and all my gear's inside already set up. I got to thinking, when I saw that GT snow racer with the track, I'm like, man, if I made it a little bit bigger, put that friggin', I got an 8-horse out in the garage, an old snowblower engine, chain drive it to the axle to drive the treads, and then just keep it popped up, so it'd be literally a rolling friggin', it'd be an ice fishing shack on treads. Nobody's done this. I looked it up to see if anybody ever had a mobile ice shack, and all I find are people driving these ridiculous looking heavy rigs. It's like a freaking motor home with 6 wheels in the back and 2 up front, and they're driving this thing on the ice. I'm like, man, you must have some thick ice where you are, because I don't know. I wouldn't want to be taking that on the ice. That's a lot of pressure pushing down on friggin' hardened water. But if I made this little thing, skis in the front, treads in the back, that could be kind of fun. However, like I said, my engineering skills are not quite there. So I need to find somebody who's like good at things. And I don't know anybody like that. So that's just a pipe dream. It is what it is. The easiest solution would just be like everybody else and buy a sled. Like if I could find a used, doesn't have to be fast, just something to get me on the ice and get me going that's reliable and starts on every pull. I'm asking a lot. I know this, but then ice fishing would be more fun because I could rip out to the spots where the fish are. You know, when you're walking on that ice and you're sinking through and your ankle's twisting because the snow is bullshit, you can't walk on the ice road because people are being dicks. You kind of lose it, and then you get out to where you are and the fish aren't interested, and you know they're perch because perch are dicks. So it's like, what do? You lose interest in the sport. But I think if I go out next time, I'm going to try Calendar Bay because you don't have to go out that far to get on 30 feet of water. Usually the fishing there is not too bad. I've never skunked on Calendar Bay ice fishing. I've always caught something, whether it be a perch or a Walter. I always caught something on Calendar Bay. So I'm thinking I might do that this time. If I go out this weekend for family day, because Nikki's only here till Sunday. She's got to bounce early on Sunday because she has to work Sunday evening and Monday's a busy time at the resort for her because of family day. So she really needs to be in her top game. So that's the reason why she's bouncing early on Sunday. Anyway, guys, I'm going to shut her down here. Seriously, go on Google and look up DIY friggin' snowmobiles. You don't have to put friggin' in there. I just added that for fun. And you're going to be like blown away by the bullshit people made, and actually it worked. I know I was, let me tell you. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, favorite, comment. Don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, guys, live it to win it. And peace the frig out. Sit, stupid, sit. Good dog.